I can't say Korean slurs, but people can rap songs can use the N-word. Mm-hmm. That's racist. I should be able to use the G word.
Well, as Don Lemon said 7 years ago, they should stop using that word.
I mean,
so I'm just going off what he said right now.
I'm just saying, what about my rights to use the G word? I had a conversation with a Korean person about this who was like,
I don't even know what the G word is.
I can't say it.
Yeah.
I literally can't say it.
I don't even know.
I don't think I knew. Actually, you know what? I gotta be honest. I'm willing to bet that YouTube doesn't even know what the G word is either.
Really?
I bet. I'm not gonna say anything.
No, don't. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for chat to explode on what it is.
No.
If all I'm seeing is what is it?
Oh, nobody knows what it is.
Nobody knows.
Dang.
Good.
That's great. I love our audience.
I don't know because YouTube blocks a bunch of words.
Okay.
I actually had a conversation with a Korean person about this, about whether or not we're allowed to say it. And the agreement was, yeah, of course. And I was like, even me? Because I'm mostly white, but like my family is part Korean. And they were like, oh, yeah, for sure, definitely.
Oh, okay.
They see it?
Well,
yeah, there it is.
Yeah, okay,
there's many chat people that have figured out what it is. So.
Yeah. So I tell you what, man. I'd be willing to bet that if you went out in public and asked strangers to say, could you read these words? And you wrote like bicycle, machine gun, elephant, G word. They would just say it.
Yeah.
They would just say it. And you'd be like, thank you for that. And you have a recording of that person putting out a racial slur. So there was actually, I was actually, I'm going to keep this one relatively vague, but I was talking to some friends and I brought up the fact that most people don't know any racial slurs outside of like the N-word, for instance, and the S word, and there's a lot of slurs. And I was like, so what would happen if you went to like Starbucks and they asked your name and you gave them like a racial slur for a race that Americans don't care about, like Koreans?
Okay.
Like I'm pretty confident if I went to Starbucks and they asked for my name and I said the G word, they would just yell it out.
Dr. G.
No. If I said my name is, G word,
yeah,
they would write it down, and then someone would make my Frappuccino and they'd grab it and go, and just yell it out.
Is there a G word? Your Frappuccino's ready.
No, they would go,
Mocha.
G word. And I'd be like, whoa, dude, are you kidding me? What's going on? I start throwing stuff and flipping tables.
That'd be fun.
And then you film it. And
boom, gotcha, Starbucks. Gotcha.
Yeah, but I was like,
cancel Starbucks.
The point I was making was that Americans only care about some minorities. They don't care about Asians.
Same with free speech. That's basically,
of course.
That's their argument now.
What?
They don't want all free speech. They just want their free speech.
They say they're for free speech?
Their specific speech, that their approved speech.
What they've actually
That's
argued,
not free speech.
They've argued, we're actually in favor of free speech because when marginalized voices are oppressed, then they can't speak. So by banning hate speech, you actually protect free speech. And I'm like, do you know what free speech means? Yeah. Like anybody can give their thoughts and opinions.
Right.
So you can't ban speech and claim it's free speech. Mm-hmm. That's not real.
Yeah, there's a very, very solid line between having all free speech and not having free speech. And if you ban anything, that's not free speech at all. Boom, it's black and white.
Yep, it's very bad.
Can I even say that anymore?
Probably not.
Jeez.
We're like we you know what? The cliffs are eroding.
Yeah.
That's the way I describe it. When they start banning more and more people, James Lindsay. You mentioned this before we started the show. Conceptual James, he was on Joe Rogan.
Yep.
Gained a bunch of followers because he's talking about intersectionalism. He pushes back hard, and they suspended his Twitter account for no reason. He's a math PhD?
Yeah.
He's a math PhD.
He's a teacher.
Tweeting like, here's how intersectionality and wokeism works, and they're like, suspended.
Whoa. We can't have people understanding what's going on.
No, that's true. They can't.
That's exactly why I said it.
They banned free speech.
Yep.
I'm going to take that as you telling me I was right.
You are right. You are correct, good sir.
Correct, sir.
Oh, it's like the sun shining on me.
No, but the thing about the racial slurs I thought was really funny is I was like, you could very easily make a whole montage of all of these different chain restaurants, their employees yelling racial slurs because they wouldn't know what the words meant. I was thinking about it because I was watching South Park. You ever see that episode of South Park where they go to the what is it, the Intolerance Museum? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think so.
And like they're like, we don't tolerate intolerance, but they go through this tunnel where it just spouts a whole bunch of racial slurs.
Okay.
And what was interesting to me about it is I didn't know 90% of the words.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you watch it, it's like a bunch of words. And I have a friend of mine who's Italian, and he pointed out, I was like, oh yeah, they're making fun of Italians. And I was like, I never heard that.
Wow.
I didn't know that. And so I actually started asking people, and they don't know anything. In fact, like the slur for Hispanic people, most people don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
You can't say anything. Don't say
There's
that.
a
well, no,
few.
no.
There's a
I was
few.
just gonna say that I think for the most part, because they don't know them, because most people aren't racist anymore.
Yup.
Yeah.
It's just
They don't know them.
most people aren't racist anymore. People are just like, oh
Bro.
yeah, oh, are you a cool person? Cool.
Do you know how
Cool.
I
All
know
right.
I know like probably all of the racial slurs for Asian people, because it's probably because how I grew up. And
What are you, racist or something?
Because well, Asians are super racist.
Oh no, you had your
For
buddy
sure, man.
who
Yeah, you
straight
had your
up
friend.
was like, oh yeah, you're this racial slur.
Oh yeah,
You're
yeah,
this
yeah.
racial
He was the
slur.
Eric Cartman of my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, there.
But we thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
For those that don't know the context, when I was growing up, there's one kid who just would call everybody by their racial slur, and it meant literally. I would say it meant nothing to us, like it didn't affect us.
Yeah.
But I would say it was actually a net positive, because it was basically like the ultimate diversity
Yeah.
and inclusion. It was like, listen, when we're here together skateboarding as friends,
Yeah.
we are all equally racial slurs.
Equal.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Did he talk in the third person too? Like
No.
whatever he would have been. I don't know.
well, like he would point it out if someone told him.
Yeah.
He would just yell it. And
He's like,
he was
whoa,
always
whoa,
yelling.
whoa, whoa, whoa!
With-
Don't call me by my name. Call me this racial slur that
We-
fits me perfectly.
but look,
I
we-
want to be included too.
We grew up. Oh, and of course, white people have racial slurs. There's a
Oh,
whole
yeah.
bunch of slurs for all the different white people.
Mm-hmm.
But we grew up with South Park and Family Guy and all these jokes, so everybody loved it. And George Carlin,
Yeah.
you know where he got it from?
What?
He got it from George Carlin doing the bit where he said all the
All of
racial
them.
slurs. And he
Yeah.
just goes off and he memorized them all. And so we all grew up like urban liberal Chicago,
Yep.
watching George Carlin, and so that and South Park, and so it was hilarious when we'd be out skating, and then he just start mouthing off, and
Yeah.
it's funny. It's funny.
You know, and what he did the best of is he took the power away from it. He took away the hate out of it.
He weakened it.
Well, no, everyone's bringing it back. They're
Oh, yeah, for
they're
sure.
empowering all these words. They're bringing it back. They're making it that it is a hate thing instead of you have no power here anymore because we have thick skin, we have spines, we know who we are. We don't let that affect us anymore. That's we're losing that.
It's worse. They fired the guy from Papa John's for complaining about it. Do you know? Did you hear the story?
I did hear the story.
Dude, I will not.
We talked about it.
I mean this. I am not one to get overly like Chick-fil-A. I don't care, man. If I feel like getting a chicken sandwich, I'm going. You know, Chick-fil-A was doing this donations to like Christian groups, and I said I don't care, and then they canceled, and I was like I don't care, and they started pandering to the far left, and I'm like I still don't care, man.
Yeah.
Like all of these companies do different things. I tell you what though, Papa John's. I will never eat Papa John's again. That crossed the line. Papa John.
The original
Was on a phone call,
OG.
and he was complaining that Colonel Sanders used the N-word, and no one said anything about it, and that was his complaint. He was like, you get Colonel Sanders, and he said, and he actually used the full N-word, but to complain about it, and then somebody on the call leaked it to Forbes or something, and then they forced him out of the company. They pulled his name off universities. His company. This is the most insane cancel culture I've ever seen, that you were literally agreeing and complaining about someone getting away with using the word, and they take your name off of a building where you've donated all this money.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
They like tried to destroy his life. Why? He didn't even disagree with them, man.
Right.
Do you know about the guy at Netflix?
No.
This is probably the best cancel culture example. Let me just tell all of y'all listening. Right now, there are a bunch of threads going around on Twitter where they're like, cancel culture isn't real. And there's one going viral where they're like, if you've been canceled, you need to atone for your wrongs and earn back the respect. Okay, an executive over at Netflix was having a discussion about about what words were offensive and could not be used. And so he started explaining to people, here are some examples of words you can't use. And he said them. And somebody in the meeting went, he actually said it. And they went to HR and they said, he said the word. So they brought him into HR and asked him what happened. And as he was describing the incident, he said the word again. And then someone in the HR meeting went, he said the word to us. They fired him. He was saying, I was telling people that these words are offensive and we can't have them on Netflix. Words like and then he lists them off.
Yep.
And then they, started all panicking and crying and hiding in the corner, screaming that they were under a violent assault by this man. And
so
I'm
do
exaggerating.
they have to go back to writing notes and passing them around? These are the words that you must omit from your vocabulary.
The Q word.
This is the thing. We're both from Chicago. I know you know him. He's from Chicago.
Oh yeah.
I'm from Chicago too. We're gonna talk about it a lot. That's kind of how we do things here at Timcast. We talk about Chicago, that we're from Chicago. Well, one thing about Chicago that you may or may not know, they love their pizza. All right, and we know pizza in Chicago, right? Am I right?
Oh yeah, man.
Oh yeah. So we know pizza. Papa John's, you don't make pizza. I'm sorry. No, your pizza sucks. All right, I'm saying it. So it's no loss. I'm not even a big fan of Papa John's. If you want good pizza, don't go.
What's your favorite pizza out of Chicago?
Dondi's Pizza.
Dondi's?
Yeah, you might not know it. It's
is that a small one?
It's one Dondi's. There's only one. I worked there. I actually delivered pizzas for a while. That was one of my jobs. It was an awesome job.
I used to get all the time from I think it was Big Lou's Jardinera Pizza.
Ooh, nice.
And I know that you guys listening don't even know what Jardinera is. That's too bad.
It is.
Chicago thing.
That's
what can I say?
Yeah. Chicago thing. Jardinera,
Yeah,
man.
dude. It's weird, but I'll just tell you, it's like putting carrots and celery on your pizza. And cauliflower.
It's true.
Yeah.
It sounds weird, but I mean,
with peppers.
I love it. Yeah.
So let's do this.
Hold on, before we do, I wanted to bring this up. I'm actually seeing this a lot. It's these lists that people are making of businesses like Papa John's and even Netflix, I guess, probably will make this list of people that are like, if you are so weak-willed to cancel people, we're not going to support you anymore.
Yeah.
I'm seeing this pop up more and more. And it's like they're now
boycott?
Yeah, basically they're saying like, we're not going to give this company our money if they're going to just cater to this cancel culture, essentially, And it's it's becoming more and more prevalent as we go on.
You know why I don't think that would work?
Why?
These companies already made their bed knowing full well they'll lose the conservative cash. They made a calculated decision before they got woke. How much do we stand to lose and how much do we stand to gain? And they chose a side.
Well,
and they've opted for the safe. They think it's safer to go left.
I do agree with that, and because it is about the money, and that's not necessarily to say that is gonna, be fruitful for them. There might come a chance or a time where people actually, enough people make a huge dent, and they're going, oh wow, we're actually losing money now because we made this decision.
Parler is probably the best opportunity right now for collective conservative action because the user base is 99.9%, conservative.
Okay.
So it would be really easy for anybody on Parler, to be like, echo this post so that everyone on the site sees it and send a message about X tax company. So we were talking about this before. Like one of the things that conservatives and now moderates who are aligned with conservatives on free speech issues, the reason why they can't succeed against the left in many of these culture war battles is because the left has already been organizing for decades. They have email lists, they have large groups, they're high profile Twitter accounts with huge followings, they're verified. They put out one tweet to a couple 100,000 people. Hey, everybody hit up Verizon and tell them you're going to boycott. And they do. And Verizon panics. Conservatives don't do that.
Yep.
Imagine if there was a version of that on, say, Parler and said, everybody spend 10 seconds doing this. That would cause these companies to panic. Getting from the left and the right flank, they'd be like, what do we do?
Yep.
How about we shut up and don't do politics anymore? Done. Think about if they put their stupid little brand logo and brand message, here at Brand, we support group of people. And then all of a sudden they got a huge wave of like 200,000 comments being like polite, not hateful, just saying we really would respect you more if you didn't engage in politics.
Yeah.
Look, man, you deliver pizzas, for my kid's birthday. The last thing I need from you is a lecture on my political opinions.
You know what?
Just please give me pizza.
That is a fantastic idea, Tim. Wink, wink for the people who aren't actually watching us.
Well, I'm not going to do it. You can do it.
And as easily as I can do it, you can do it too. I'm talking to anyone who's listening to me right now. You can also do this. A lot of people have come up to me like, "Oh, why haven't you started this, this email list?" Because I'm spending most of my day researching the stuff that's going on. It's like if I started focusing on just researching what companies are canceling people, that's a very slim thing, and I don't want that. I'm trying to maintain a really broad sense of the atmosphere of what's going on in this country. And I think that's really important, being where I'm at, sitting next to you. Like I need a broader, sense of things. So it's not and actually someone, kind of reamed us out like, oh, you have this skate park in your backyard when you should be, spending money on, organizing a movement. It's like, do you not watch our show? Do you not know what we talk about? This is the forum that we have, helping people learn how to speak, have a civil conversation, even if you don't agree.
Yep.
And that's okay. Now people are questioning whether or not the show will last. It's like they clearly don't understand the friendship that you and I have.
Well, they're questioning that we argue on the show. It's a show, people.
I know.
We just built a new 4-foot quarter pipe, and Adam, he put the final. Well, you basically built the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he threw down a blunt rock fakie first trick. It's good go, right?
Yeah.
And I was worried it was going to fall over because it wasn't weighted, and you just went for it anyway.
Yeah.
So no, we have a skate park.
That's how I skate, though.
Listen, man, I don't consider myself to be overtly an activist. I consider myself to be politically active on certain issues, like freedom, liberty, things like that, and that's why I speak out against it. But I'm not a political operative in that sense. I don't go and hang out with political groups to give them advice on their political positions and what they should or shouldn't do. I don't do it. But that's why I said I'm not going to make an email list.
Nope.
Hey, you can, Adam, if you'd like. That's just not something I do.
But this is kind of the thing I'm talking about. This is the problem with a lot of what's going on. Everybody expects someone else to do the work.
Yep.
Every single one of you needs to do work. We all need to understand what's going on. Every single person needs to get out and do the research and understand what's happening. Everybody. It's on everybody. We're all humans. We're all here. We all want this to be better. We all want to live comfortably. That's it.
What would it have been like if the Planeteers never combined their powers with their rings
and brought Captain Planet?
No Captain Planet.
Yeah.
It was only when they realized that together, when they pointed their rings in the sky, they could summon Captain Planet.
Yes, Tim. I'm spinning the UFO. That's a spin.
It's a spin for Tim.
I couldn't think of any of the bad guys from Captain Planet. Loot and Plunder. Plunder. That was his name, right? And
that was great.
That was a Ted Turner show. Man. Captain Planet. You know what really annoyed me about Captain Planet?
What?
They almost never actually used their rings on their own.
That's
true.
At
a certain point, you can have some personal responsibility too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there'd be some episodes, sometimes they'd be like, Wheeler would be like fire and actually burn something.
Yeah.
But I guess the concern was that if he was going around burning people, the bad guy shows up and he would. Hold on a minute. If you're fighting this big evil guy who's going to pollute this whole country and kill all these people, Wheeler could walk up to him, point at the ring in his face, and go fire and just light the dude up.
Yep.
But they never did.
And that's because violence is not the answer, Tim.
I'm just saying. Look, man, I'm sorry. I don't agree with. I don't agree with the death penalty, but I do believe there is a line. So people ask me about this. Like, what if you're in combat? That's different. So I'm not a big fan of Batman's no kill policy, because you end up with the Justice Lord's timeline where the Joker ends up drugging Superman. Superman goes and wipes out Metropolis and all that stuff, and then he gets mad because Batman could have stopped Joker if Batman would just grow a pair. Okay. Joker literally kills millions of people. At a certain point, you can. I don't believe that after you subdued somebody and locked them up, that you can then go about ending them. But if someone's literally on the verge about to kill a bunch of people, and you have to stop them by any means necessary, that I understand.
Okay.
That's just my point about Batman.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.